Events, we give a 4-part presentation to new drivers. This video will focus on one of those parts. Race rules and operations. First, let's talk about gridding. At most racetracks, we grid cars on pit lane. Cars that arrive after grid has closed will be put at the back. There will be grid numbers on the pit wall and marshals helping you get into your spot. At 5 minutes before we plan to roll off, we will blow a whistle 5 times and the flagger in your car will display a 5-minute message. At 3 minutes, we will blow a whistle 3 times and announce clear the grid. The flagger will display a 3-minute message. And at 1 minute to go, we will blow the whistle 1 time and the flagger will display 1 minute. The race start. When we roll off, all cars should go through the pit out RFID reader. We do a double file start. This means that the car on pole gets to choose which side they would like to be on at the start, and then cars alternate sides behind it. There will be a marshal after the reader splitting cars left and right. We will do 1 lap behind the safety car, and then at a pre-announced spot, the safety car will turn off its lights, flags will be pulled in, and the flagger will go dark. These 3 things are signs that we will try to start when the field comes around to the start-finish line. What are these RFID readers at pit in and pit out all about? We use them to time your pit stops and to associate the driver to the car. With that information, we can publish lap times, stop times, and infraction points. We'll talk more about all the ways we use data in a future video. So, slow down as you approach the readers. It's easy for them to read the RFID tag we placed on your windshield, but hard to read the tag we placed on your helmet. Going slow greatly increases their ability. You should be down to 5 miles an hour at the first cone before the reader and roll under at 5 miles an hour. You may resume speed after you pass under the reader. Pit lane. We divide the pit lane into 3 distinct lanes. Lane 1 is the traveling lane. You should be driving at 35 miles an hour in lane 1. Lane 3 are the pit boxes. Try to drive through as few pit boxes as possible when you are coming and going from your team's pit box. Lane 2 is the transition lane for going from lane 1 to lane 3 and lane 3 to lane 1. You shouldn't be driving in lane 2 unless your car has mechanical issues and you can't go 35 miles an hour. In that case, you should drive in lane 2, but be aware that everyone else has the right of way, and cars in lane 1 may pass a slow car driving in lane 2. Pit stop rules. Everyone over the wall must be in full gear. Suit, boots, gloves, and a full-face helmet with a visor. Everyone over the wall must have their visor down when fueling is taking place. By that we mean when the cap is off. This includes the driver in the car. The exception to this is when fueling is not taking place and the cap is on. Then everyone may put their visor up and take off their gloves. Wait for your car to come to a complete stop before you go over the wall or put anything over the wall. Your team can have a maximum of 5 people over the wall at any time. This includes the driver in your car. You need a fireman, and they should stand back and be ready. While fueling is taking place, their sole job is firemen. They can't help with anything else. When you see your neighbors getting ready for a stop, make sure you know where your fire bottle is. Be ready in case they need help. Watch out for your neighbors, and they'll watch out for you. You need a metal, non-sparking catch pan that will catch any fuel spills you have when fueling. You may change drivers while fueling, but not work on the car. You may work on the car when not fueling, such as checking and adding oil and adjusting tire pressures. You may go over the wall without full gear if instructed to do so and accompanied by a pit marshal, maybe to push a car or help in some other way. Jacking in the pits. You may jack your car in pit lane for the purpose of changing tires. You are only allowed 1 jack, 1 tool, and 5 tires, including those on the car, over the wall at a time. In short, you can only change 1 tire at a time. You also need a dedicated spotter facing pit in. Infractions and penalties. Appendix B in our rulebook lists all of the infractions we look for and the penalty points for each. If your team does receive a penalty, you all will get a text, and all penalty points are public on the Days, Stints, and Stops page, which we'll go over in a future video. At the point thresholds listed here, the team will be black flagged to serve the associated penalty. If you combine a penalty with a pit stop, the stop won't count towards your required number of stops, so come in separately for each. Required stops. In an 8-hour race, we require you to make 5 3-minute stops, and in a 2-hour qualifying race, we require 3 3-minute stops. If your stop is between 20 and 40 minutes, we will count this as 2 stops, 40 to 60 minutes as 3 stops, etc. Why do we mandate the number of stops? From the beginning, we wanted to remove the advantage of a large fuel cell and decided that the easiest way was to simply mandate the number of stops required. We also wanted to remove the advantages of equipment designed to fuel a car extra fast. 3 minutes turned out to be a great sweet spot. If a team is organized, they can safely fuel the car and change a driver in 3 minutes, but if they aren't prepared, they can lose time and laps. A great benefit of our RFID system and software suite is we can record all of this, and it's all made public. Local yellows. Stop racing when you see a yellow flag ahead or when you are notified of one by the flagger. If you're passing someone or being passed, work with the other car to make sure you are both single file and off pace by the time you reach the flag. Green flags after local yellows. After a local yellow, the next flagging station will display a green flag. You may only resume race pace when you are next to the station showing the green. This animation illustrates this as the car is under control of the yellow flag until it is next to the green station. Full course yellow, displayed as double yellow flags. Stop racing, no passing, and reduce speed. Heads up, because we'll either roll a safety car or employ code 35. You'll be notified of which via the flagger, and code 35 flags on track. If it's a safety car, you'll get a safety car message on the flagger. The leader should slow to 45 miles an hour to create a gap in front of them for the safety car and to start bunching up the field behind them. Pit in remains open and cars will be held at pit out until the pack comes around behind the safety car and they will be released onto the back of the pack. The restart will be single file. If we employ code 35, you'll get a code 35 message on the flagger, and corner workers will display code 35 flags. You will have 12 seconds to reduce your speed to 35 miles an hour. After that 12 seconds, your speed will be monitored and averaged over a rolling 10-second period. Approximately 10 seconds before we'll go green and commence racing, the corner workers will pull in the double yellow flags. This is your signal to prepare to resume racing. When green flag racing resumes, the flagger will change to display a green flag and corner workers will pull in code 35 flags. You may then resume racing. Also, pit in and pit out are always open during a code 35. Incidents. AER investigates contact by interviewing drivers and requesting and reviewing video. Please have an extra memory card so you can swap them at your next stop to supply video. We investigate contact when it is reported by corner workers or teams. Awards. There's no podium ceremony or trophies after qualifying races on Fridays. On Saturdays, there's a podium ceremony after the race, and we award 1,000 and 2,500 lap club inductions. Trophies for first, second, and third in each class of the day's race are also awarded. On Sunday, there's also a podium ceremony. 1,000 and 2,500 lap club event drivers championship is awarded. and there are trophies for first, second, and third in each class of the day's race, as well as trophies for first, second, and third in each class for overall points for the event. Thanks so much for watching. Please like this video and subscribe to our channel to see more videos when they drop.